But first, breaking tonight, senior law enforcement officials telling NBC News that there is growing frustration inside the FBI as they finish the bulk of their work on the Hunter Biden case over a year ago. And reportedly, the IRS finished its part of the investigation more than a year ago as well. Now, remember, the Washington Post had previously reported that there was enough evidence discovered to charge Hunter Biden with tax crimes and a false statement related to a gun purchase. Now, this comes out on the heels of another bombshell report that could be the straw that broke Biden's back. A whistleblower special agent from the IRS has come forward to allege that Joe Biden was getting special treatment and special protection in the agency's investigation of his son, Hunter. The whistleblower's lawyer appeared on Special Report tonight.
He's not a political person. He's not a social media person. He's not coming here with a political agenda. He has spotted and observed things that are done differently in this particular matter, which I can't identify. And he wants to talk about them, and he believes that they were influenced by politics.
But that can't be, because Joe has sworn all along that there's no there there. Now, remember, these are the so-called defenders of democracy. Remember that? But in the end, of course, they're trashing our democratic systems and laying waste to our justice system, all for their own political ends. Now, it's gotten so bad that the legacy media that's always circled the wagons for the Biden family, well, they're actually covering this story. Here's CBS.
An attorney for an IRS supervisor sent a letter to lawmakers today asking for whistleblower protection, saying his client has information that suggests the investigation is being improperly influenced by, quote, preferential treatment and politics.
Is the old mule so injured that even the vultures at CNN decided to swoop down for their little bit of flesh?
Now it's clear that there's an IRS agent who is apparently involved in the case who wants to go to Congress and share what he believes are allegations of mishandling and politics at play here.
Now, the White House was obviously rattled enough to release a hastily written statement, of course, dismissing the whistleblower's allegations. Now, with the perfunctory assurance, of course, that the Hunter Biden investigation will remain free from any political interference and that the DOJ is handling it independently. Well, maybe that's the issue, because late tonight, the New York Post reported that Attorney General Merrick Garland himself is the senior official cited in the whistleblower's letter. If true, well, that would contradict testimony that Garland himself delivered under oath last month.
I promised to leave the matter of Hunter Biden in the hands of the U.S. Attorney for the District of Delaware. I have pledged not to interfere with that investigation, and I have carried through on my pledge.
So does the nation's top lawyer need a lawyer? But there's something else they're sweating about tonight. One news that ex-CIA Director Mike Morell had become a problem for Biden. It turns out that he testified under oath that it was the Biden campaign itself that was behind that letter that he and 50 other former intel officials released that claimed, remember falsely, that information from Hunter Biden's laptop, was just Russian disinformation. Congressman Jim Jordan asked, well, what was the intent of the statement? And Morell answered, one intent was to, share our concern with the American people that the Russians were playing on this issue. And two, it was to help the vice president. Chairman Jordan then says, you wanted to help the vice president? Why? The answer? Because I wanted him to win the election. And then it got worse when Morell said that current Secretary of State Antony Blinken was the one who spearheaded the letter. Now, remember, it's never just about Hunter. In the end, it's always about the big guy. Joining me now is House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan. Congressman, you've been very methodical about this investigation. We're going to get to Morell's testimony. But is it worth asking first whether the Attorney General himself may be in some legal jeopardy here on the question of obstruction of justice, given what we learned from NBC News and others tonight?
Yeah, we'll have to see. What we do know, Laura, is what you said. This has been political from the get-go, clear back to the Morell situation when the story came out on October 14th, 2020 about the Biden business operation, and was then Vice President Joe Biden involved? There was some concern that he was. And then quickly it turns into this political operation, that letter that became the basis for suppressing the story and keeping it from the American people just days before the most important election we have, election for President of the United States. So understand what happened, Laura. The 14th, the Post does a story. The 17th, Tony Blinken, senior advisor to the Biden campaign, current Secretary of State, contacts Mike Morell, gets him interested in this. Mike Morell looks at it the next day, organizes on the 18th all these other people to sign the letter. The 19th, the letter goes out. And then on the 22nd, and the reason Mike Morell said he did the letter was he thought President Trump would bring the issue up during that debate on the 22nd of October. And of course he did. And they wanted some statement that Joe Biden could use, because as Mr. Morell said, they wanted him to win.
Yeah,
and what happens on the 22nd?
Yeah.
Joe Biden brings it up. And then after that debate, here's the kicker. Steve Ricchetti, chair of the Biden campaign, calls up Mike Morell and thanks him for doing it all. It was a total political operation. And the most important fact is, Laura, it was false. It wasn't Russian disinformation.
Yeah.
The laptop story looks to be true.
Well, just so people remember what happened, because there are a lot of facts flying around here tonight. Yeah. This was during the 2020 debate, and this is what Congressman Jordan is referring to, Biden actually referencing this letter that we now know a lot more about. Watch.
Look, there are 50 former national intelligence folks who said that what he's accusing me of is a Russian plant.
You mean the laptop is now another Russia hoax?
That's exactly what.
Is this
that's
where you're
exactly
going?
what.
This is where he's going. The laptop is Russia.
Well, Congressman Donald Trump was right, was he not? This is ridiculous.
He sure was. He sure was. But the way then Vice President Biden did it was he made it seem like it was organic. And understand, it was choreographed all the way. And understand this, too. It wasn't just their names on that letter, on that statement. It was their names and their title. Former head of ODNI, former CIA director. That gave it this feeling and this impression that it was, this imprimatur that it was accurate when it wasn't. And that's the scariest thing of all. And that letter became the basis for keeping this information from the American people. And the other thing that was important we learned in that deposition with Mr. Morell is Mr. Morell was even trying to direct who the Biden campaign told him who to get this to in the media. It was that coordinated.
Oh, well,
that's the scary part.
No, well, they're all very. You know what it reminds me of, Congressman? The letter that was choreographed, or the article that was choreographed about the origins of COVID. Remember Fauci and Collins? All those guys got on that call like, okay, you write it. We're going to put it out there, and then the media runs with it. It's the same game. They run this game, I don't know how many times a year, but they run it consistently when it's a political question that they want to resolve in their favor. This happens time and again. This is nothing new.
You're right. Just let the American people decide who we want representing us, who we want leading us, who we want to elect into office. Quit trying to put your finger on the scale. Just stay out of it. Let we, the people, decide.
Now, I want to get to this IRS whistleblower question. Here was the White House on this today.
The president respects the rule of law and the independence of the Department of Justice. He believes that's what they should be. In this administration, we believe that it should be independent. So I'm not going to go beyond that. The Department of Justice will certainly deal with this issue.
Congressman, are they letting Garland kind of twist in the wind out there?
You know, it's hard to say, but we do look forward to communicating with this whistleblower and seeing what he has to say. The timeline has been so long, and they've had the laptop since 2019. They had the laptop before they even the previous subject we're talking about. They had the laptop before they even did put this statement together, for goodness sake. So we do look forward to talking to this individual, working with his attorney, and we will begin that process and make sure that we get a chance to visit with him and see what he has to say.
Right. We don't want to jump to conclusions because that's what the Democrats do. But the facts speak for themselves at some point. And Congressman, thank you for all you're doing.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.